am able to get back there, I can add them all together, but.
Yeah.
Okay, it was recording apparently, but so I stopped that one, and I just started a new recording. So I guess we'll just say, welcome to the CIS 234 Graphic Technology Applications Zoom session for today, it's going to be April tomorrow, so it's March 31st, Tuesday. Today we have Heather Marshall joining us. She's going to talk a lot about the internship and College Central Network, which is required for everyone to build a profile and start working on their resume. So Heather, if you'd like to kind of walk us through and talk to us about whatever you feel is super important for this portion of their program completion, that'd be wonderful.
Of course. So thank you for having me here. I'm going to see if I can steal the screen from you.
Absolutely. I may have to stop sharing here.
Okay.
I'll stop sharing. There you go.
All righty. See if I can do this. Okay, so what I want to do today is kind of walk through where you can find information about doing an internship, kind of that process to get your internship going, and then some resources that are available to you, including College Central Network. So just as a heads up, the website is going to be changing a little bit. It's going to expand a bit more on resources available to you, covering things like how to write a resume, how to design a cover letter, interviewing questions, what do they mean, what do people want to hear during those answers. So all of that will be coming soon. It is under development right now. But if you go up here and you go in the search box and hit internships. Normally you can find it another way, but with the rework of the website right now with all of the COVID-19 information, this is the neatest way to find it. So if you search for internships, you come down here and this is the internship page for Jackson College. So doing an internship is required for graphic design students. Typically, we see students do their internships after their portfolio class. So it gives you a lot of great material to go and interview and kind of show your portfolio to employers. So in here, we've got the student information. This is going to be the main part to help you kind of narrow down the process of everything. There is eligibility criteria. So you have to be approved by your faculty member. And so the way that we handle this approval is actually through an application. So this work-based learning application, you can see the first step right here. You have to complete the work-based learning application. It lets your faculty member know and it lets me know that you're interested in doing your internship. You can find the application right here under student internship application. If you are an international student, then you need to fill out the international student application, and it has to have approval from the DSO, who is Jamie Morris at this time. Moving through the internship process, you'll work with me to discuss related resources, contacts, kind of what you're hoping to gain from the experience. We don't do placement, so I don't have students come to me and I tell them to start with company B on Tuesday. Instead, I help work through the process of finding an internship, getting all of your application materials ready to go, your resumes, cover letters, etc., helping you prepare for interviews, and then also I'm able to help provide professional clothing to students. At this time, that service is on hold while we are away from campus, but once we get back to campus, the Jackets for Jets closet will reopen. So after all of this, students will begin applying for positions and interviewing for the different positions that they're interested in. Once a position is obtained, so once a student accepts a position, they'll fill out their contract with their supervisor and their faculty, and this includes learning objectives. And I'll show you where this is at. It's all online, which makes it really convenient for students, so you don't have to run around with pen and paper tracing people down. Instead, it is a workflow that's assigned and sent via email. There can be glitches in that where emails get lost. If that's ever the case and you have questions about where the process of your agreement is, just feel free to email and I can check on that for you. So one thing that we do is we conduct a site visit to check site suitability. This is something that we do for the first time we're working with an employer. It's basically just to make sure that we're sending students into safe work environments, that there's no question of what your responsibility will be while you're there, and that you have a place to work. Once everything is complete, then the student is registered for their work-based learning course. For graphic design, that is CIS 245, section GD. And so we'll help you get registered for that. And I apologize because there's the dogs.
That's okay.
So, the fun of working from home.
Exactly.
So during the internship, the student will have to maintain contact with their faculty member, making sure that they're keeping up with any projects that are assigned via the syllabus. We'll do a midway evaluation, and then there will also be a final evaluation that is submitted to faculty after it's completed by employers. So this final evaluation is something that I send directly to employers. They send back to me and I pass on to faculty. So there's not any time where the student is seeing it. However, if you ever have questions, we're happy to talk to you about it anytime. So yeah, then once the internship is complete, then you'll fill out a work-based learning survey, and then you are all set with your internship. So I know we don't have many people on, and for those we do have already done or are actively doing an internship. So I'm just going to jump right over into finding or posting an internship. So this will take you to the College Central Network site. We call it Jobs for Jets for short. To get started, you hit Get Started with CCN. Once you're here, you will create an account if you haven't already. So we'll go into the student site. For this, if you have not used College Central Network before, we'll ask that you create an account. For your account, we ask that you use your Jackson College user ID. So this would be that beginning of your email address. So that's 771, first 7 of your last name, first 7 of your first name, and then your middle initial. Some people might have numbers added onto that. So use that in here and then create your password, and then you're good to go. You'll fill out a quick profile about yourself, and then you can jump in. So I'm going to log in to my test account. So, and I apologize if you can hear the dogs howling in the background. So this is what Jackson College looks like once you have entered into the site. The College Central Network site looks like, I think I said Jackson College. There's a lot of great opportunities and a lot of great tools that you can use. You can keep up to date on the different webinars that we have coming up and how you can attend those webinars. Those are all online, and so we've been running virtual workshops since the beginning of the semester. So students are free to log in from wherever they're at to attend. There's also a lot of great documents down here to help you if you have questions about career portfolios, cover letters, internships, interviews. All of that is on here. For those that don't want to read, there's a really great opportunity to listen to the podcast, or they also have videos. So in
the
here,
podcasts are new, aren't they?
The podcasts have been around,
Okay.
but like, I think they were ranked like the #1 career podcast in like Scandinavia or something really random like that.
Oh, wow.
But that was their selling point when we were looking at the tool to start with. So
Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah. So, and those are pretty easy to listen to. You just have to come in here, and there's going over career exploration, portfolios, career and job fairs, cover letters, kind of a lot of the similar things that we saw before. There's also personal branding if you're ever interested. So on the side, you'll see there is My School Jobs. These are jobs that are posted from community members specifically for Jackson College students. Job Central pulls from Indeed.com, and Intern Central pulls from an internship site. The My Resumes is really great, and I believe as a part of your class, and correct me if I'm wrong, Christy, is that you have to upload your resume. Is that still a part of your course?
Yes, it's part of it.
Yep. So to do that, it's really simple. we'll delete one of these real quick. Well, first I should show you before we delete, whatever. Before I delete, there is the ability to use the resume builder in here. It's a good place to start if you have not created a resume before. However, it's a very simple and basic template. And so I always recommend that once you've gotten your information in here, that you pull it out and you do something to make it more unique and more creative and more you.
Yeah, for graphic design, but I do also think it's really valuable to have one in that system, not only just because it is a lot easier, a lot of sites and employers prefer some that are more basic, and so it might be easier to pull that information from the builder, or am I correct on that?
No, so you are. I still always recommend, so the template, I can show you what it looks like. It's a very, and this is my bad resume, so don't take it for what it is. But it comes out and it looks still fairly
this
simple.
Is fine. This is good because a lot of employers, especially starting off, it's good to have a basic resume.
Yes.
Always good to
especially for graphic design, you should always have one that is kind of more of the basic format and one that is that creative that a lot of you are working on. So you can upload it. Once you have uploaded it, then we can do a quick critique on it and we can either approve it or not approve it. This critique will be sent to you via email, but I'll also give you a notice in the platform as well. So here it said I just typed feedback, but it would be the actual feedback for your resume. If you ever do have questions and you ever feel like you want a little bit more assistance, you can always reach out to me and I'm happy to do a Zoom meeting to go through your resume with you and kind of see how we can tweak it. I'm always happy to do
Great,
that.
thank you.
So then we have the career portfolio. This is great. So my test site is actually set up as a graphic design student, which always makes it really convenient for this. So you can create a career portfolio, and this is everything that you want to compile that you think employers will want to see or that you want to show employers. So adding to your portfolio is very simple. You can do quick edits. You can add sites or add sections. Your work samples, you can add videos, you can add documents, and then you can also add photos. So we'll go to what this looked like. So this is what it would look like once it is sent to an employer. So you can see videos. Again, my dogs, because that's what I've got on my phone when I was doing all of this. So you can upload videos, you can do photos, you can caption the photos if it's a project you worked on or if it's an InDesign project or anything like that. It's a really great place to showcase that. And then this is also very easy to share. You hit the Forward My Portfolio. All you have to do, you can attach the resume that is approved in the system. You type in the email of where you want this to go. You type in your cover letter and then you hit send. And so it's a really great way to kind of bundle everything together for employers. So again, we have events and programs, which I don't know why they're not showing up, but we do have things coming up. There are announcements that we will post in here, but really want to highlight the Experiential Learning tab. So this is that online learning agreement that we had talked about previously. So once you have accepted a position and you are ready to start your internship and start the process and get like your paperwork and everything turned in, then what you'll do is you'll hit submit a new work-based learning agreement. I always recommend you read the FERPA guidelines. There is some FERPA release language in here that allows us to talk to employers and have that influence your grade. There is a copy of the work-based learning application for those that maybe click into this and they haven't filled that out yet. Then you have to go through and you have to check off all 10 of these. These are the requirements for responsibilities that are required of all students. It's pretty basic things. If you read through, you have to abide by the JC Student Handbook, adhere to work rules, act professionally, all of that. So you'll give basic information about the company, information about who your supervisor is going to be, their contact information. This email right here is very important that you get this correct. Like I said earlier, this whole thing runs through email, and so you don't have to run around with pen and paper trying to get someone's signature. However, if that email is incorrect in here, it will stop the whole process dead in its track. So really make sure that you get that correct. Then you do information about the job, start and end dates, and then 5 learning objectives. So 5 things you want to take away from your internship. If you aren't sure what you want these goals to be, you can always reach out and contact either Chrissy Hughes or myself. I always recommend going to your faculty first, just because they understand the field a little bit better. I do internships for all of our students, and so I'm not an expert in any one area, so I really rely on our faculty for that expertise.
The learning objectives I have I do have many that are in the course, and in all of the courses leading up to when you take the internship. So many of those skills are skills that you're going to want hands-on experience or virtual hands-on experience for. So yes, please connect with me when you get to that point. I'm happy to assist you in providing those objectives.
Definitely, thank you for that. So that's kind of the basics of College Central Network. There are, again, those podcasts. You can look through your recent job search history. You can report and offer a hire. So if you want to help us keep track of employers that are hiring, it's great for us to know so we can know for future students. And then there's also my account, and there's change my status. Only hit this if you have graduated and you want to switch over to an alumnus or alumna status, just because once you switch, it's pretty easy for me to switch you back, but you won't access all of the things that you'll need to be able to access for your internship if you do switch.
How long does a student stay in the system before how long do they have access to this after they graduate?
So you have access to this pretty much indefinitely. What happens is in your account, so that little profile that you'll fill out about yourself, you designate a graduation date. Let's see. So I have mine as May 2040, just so I don't have to keep going in and reverting this. But whatever graduation date you put in there, at the end of the school year, we graduate classes, and so based on that self-reported graduation date, that's when you'll automatically be converted over to an alumna or alumnus status.
Okay.
Yep. So, but once that is done, then it's pretty easy to, I have to move the cameras. Once that is done, then you would just log in under this tab and you'd have access. And if you know someone in the community who might be able to use this information as well, community residents are able to sign up for this as well. There's a little less features for community residents, but for alumni and students, it's pretty much the same, just minus that experiential learning agreement.
Okay, yeah. Terrific.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what I've got for College Central Network and for internships. I know we have a couple people on here, so if there's any questions, I'd be happy to help answer. Some basics about internships is that you have to complete 150 hours. We do work with remote internships as well, and I know with a lot going on right now, there are companies that are hiring remote internships. And Chrissy, I don't know if you agree with this, but I feel that graphic design is a great opportunity for that remote work. It really lends well to it as long as you have the ability to do that from home.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think the other person we have joined us, he's a 3D student. I'll be working one-on-one with him. So I don't think this would apply too much to him, but I'm going to review course content with both Courtney and Travis afterwards. But hi, Travis.
I do want to do some 2D things, and I do want to learn how to do 2D as well. So
absolutely, yes.
So
yes.
I'm also not very interested in internships whatsoever. Like, are they mandatory or something?
For the graphic design degree, the associate's degree, it is a requirement for graduation for that program.
Yeah, he's I substitute this class
Yep.
for him for the 3D, so
Yep.
so we're good. But yeah, Travis, we can talk more about it if you are interested. At a future time, you can enter your information into College Central Network and review this recording, and that's one way that you can get your portfolio out there.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and I am, so while I do internships, I'm also the career services person for Jackson College. So it's not only internships, but I thought I muted that. But once you are ready to graduate and you're looking for employment, then I also can help students with resumes, cover letters, job search, all of those types of resources through my office.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the overview. Like, I know students will appreciate that.
Of course. And again, I'm sorry for the dog freak out that happened.
It's okay. We like
Yeah.
to see dogs in nature and outside.
Yeah. Well, oh my goodness. They were freaking out because I haven't fed them yet. And so
It's
they've
their
been
time to be
whining
fed
at
right
me.
now, isn't it?
Yes. Yep. So, all right. Well, if anyone does have questions in the future, you can feel free to reach out to me. Right now, email is best. My email address is, I'm just going to pull this up in Word and type it so you have it all. So there's my email address. So you can go ahead and email me, reach me at any time.
I don't think we can see it. So can you switch?
Oh, yep.
Share?
One moment. I'll figure this out.
Oh, I know. It's like we're all adjusting here.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing.
I do love Zoom. I prefer it over.
There we go.
It's 1L, Marshall or Heather?
1L, yep. So
That's
because
bizarre.
it's that 77, and then I don't get a middle initial. So.
Okay. Okay.
So yep, feel free to reach me anytime.
Perfect. Thanks again. We really appreciate you taking the time to join us.
Thank you, Heather.
Of course. Yeah, I'm happy to do this, and any questions, feel free to reach out. And I hope everyone is staying safe and healthy, and we will get through all of this craziness.
Yes, we will, for sure.
All right. Have a great day, everyone.
You too.
You too. Thank you.
Yep.
So let me go ahead and share my screen here. Okay. Welcome, everyone. Hi, Travis. Hi, Courtney. Good to have you here with me. I just want to, I know I posted a couple videos, and I know sometimes it's not always clear. So I want to take the time each week to connect with people in the class and just ask whatever questions you have. I'm here to help you and answer. So I know that I opened up this first area where the assignment submissions are. And some of the very first assignments are not due until April 5th. I hope that was clear enough. I had to go back in and kind of clarify some of the dates, because while this was a hybrid class, transitioning it to fully online took a lot of, I wanted to be very clear about when things were due, just to kind of keep people on track, because it is one of the final courses, and it is really up to you to keep yourselves moving along based on the information. But if that, I know a lot of people need more guidance than others. So that's why I provide the guidance, just in case, like, you know, the schedule or the workflow. And that's what the point of the crit checks are. So, yes?
Okay. I see something here. Like, it's on your screen now. The College Central Network CCN. What's that?
So that was what Heather just reviewed. That's something that you and I can discuss outside of this, or we could discuss it right now. I wasn't going to require that of you. I was going to talk to you about your animation that you were working on, and maybe have something you and I could decide on separately, unless you wanted to complete that. It's in the recording. She walks you through how to create a profile. It's what she was reviewing about entering your information in your resume and your portfolio to be able to connect with employers. I think it would be great for you to do. So
I'm wanting to, yeah, that the things I'm trying to learn this stuff so I can make games independently. I don't want to work for some corporation is the thing.
right.
So
we talked about that. And so that's why this would not apply to you, this College Central network. And we can talk about that. I have things aside from that. Your animation will count for most of what we've discussed for a lot of these things here, the animation that you are working on.
So you want me to finish that up instead of working on this?
I do, yes.
Okay.
And I'd like you to take some screen captures of some of the things you've worked on throughout your program, and that will apply for all of these other submissions. So that's something that you and I can maybe stay on after Courtney leaves, and you and I could just sit and talk about what your goals are and what my goals are for you, if that works for you, Travis.
Yeah, it sounds like a good idea, and it sounds extremely necessary.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Okay. So each one of these submission links is has a deadline, and of course the crit checks are following the submission link. So whatever you're working on here, like for the infographic here, you'll probably meet with me about that up here. Promo materials due April 19th. You can meet me about that here. So those crit checks align with each one of the projects quite well. And of course, if you need feedback, these are our submission links. But if you need to update any of these promo materials after April 19th, you're not going to get a doc and grade as long as you're working on them and they're submitted on time. So those are just some clarification points that I know some people probably wondered, well, what if what if I'm not able to complete all of this by April 19th? Well, do your best, show me your status, talk to me at the crit check, submit it anyway, and then you can improve it before the final video presentation of your portfolio. So it's just sort of a guideline. The crit checks are to check in so I know you're moving forward and showing process and progress. And the submission links are for you to add your work to the grade book so I can grade you. And yes, if you need to update it and then resubmit, I will allow that. You're at the point in the program where you've demonstrated dedication, diligence, and so that all of that has gotten you to this point. So I allow a little flexibility on these submission links for that. So if you come in and you turn everything in the week of May 3rd and you're turning in all of this at that point in time, yes, your grade will be deducted significantly, unless you have some discussed with me otherwise. But that's pretty much an overview. Does that make sense, Courtney and Travis?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, and can I answer any other questions for you, Courtney? Because I think I'll probably end up stopping the recording and then meeting with Travis after you a little bit. I want to be able to answer any questions for you.
I don't think I have any questions. I'm just working on the infographic right now.
Okay.
When we do, my one question for that is when we do our information for that, can it be off of any website?
Absolutely.
Or do you have a specific?
It can be off of, your research can be from any website as long as you cite the source within the submission link. When you turn it in to me, if you just type in the website from where you got the information within the submission link.
Okay, I just put the websites at the bottom of my infographic. Is that okay too?
You can do that as well, as long as it doesn't Just keep it really small. Sometimes you'll see that stuff like around 8-point type. So
Yeah.
that's probably a good
Okay.
size to keep your,
I think that's what mine's at. It might be at like 7.
to credit your sources. Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
That's even better. So good question.
Alrighty. Well, I will email you with my internship stuff, and then I think that's it.
Okay, remember one last thing, your portfolio selections can change. So when we meet on the 5th, I'm going to ask you for your portfolio. You know, we'll talk about it next week, but when I give you feedback for Crit Check 1, that's sort of our virtual meeting, I'm going to want to see your portfolio selections either listed or visually, and then they can always change after that, just so you know. They can evolve, they can change. You may want to update and revise them. You may be happy with most of them, but
I also like don't have a lot of mine saved. I have mine like printed out in color in my like actual portfolio.
Okay, so this is good for me to know now. If anyone in the course is listening to this on recording, you'll need to reach out to me if you feel that you did not save a whole lot, because that means I'll have to go into a lot of the submissions and pull down work that's been submitted, and I'm happy to do that. But knowing now saves me a lot of time later kind of doing it last minute. So if you want me to pull a folder for you and drop some of the stuff in that you've worked on, I'd be happy to do that.
Okay.
Let me see if I can do that for you before next week's meeting. Does that sound good?
Well, and is it okay if I scan it? Can I scan it and like email?
Absolutely. You can scan it. You can take a picture of it for right now, just for the actual Crit Check.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And you
That's
can even submit a picture to portfolio selections, but of course later on you'll want the nicer digital version, right?
Okay. That sounds good.
Okay, good. Any other questions I can help you answer?
I think that's it.
Okay. Now the forums and collaboration, these are all shared. It is not mandatory, but it's there for anyone who wants feedback from their peers. This one is mandatory, adding your portfolio website link here at a later time. Once it's finished, I like everyone to be able to go onto each other's websites and take a look at their work. So. And then the resources, of course, this is great. This has a lot of different resources for some of the things you're working on throughout. So, and I'm going to add some more infographic resources here. There's one great infographic builder that I'm of course, not going to let people use. It's called PictoChart, but it's a great builder for people who want to take a look at how infographics might work, and it's neat to have for in the future to access. So, and then I'll just give you some nice visual examples for infographics too. So I think that's it on my end for that, outside of any additional questions you might have, Courtney.
Okay. I think that's it. And I'll post my infographic so far, like my progress infographic and like the Crit Check this week.
That'd be great. Yeah, great. Okay. Yeah, anything can be posted in each one of the Crit Checks. Of course, they align with projects nicely, like the portfolio selections, College Central Network for the 5th. But if you're already working on infographic design, not due until there, and you want feedback, post it in here and I will give you feedback for that. So the Crit Check is worth 25 points each. It's not actually a grade for the project. The project grades are down here, but the Crit Check grade just for submitting and showing me progress will be 25 points. So hopefully that's clear. I tried to make it just clear. Submissions and progress updates. And I know it's not like, it's unlike other classes, so that can throw people off. But of course, that's why we have these meetings each week. I tried Big Blue Button.
It made more sense last week.
I know I was so upset last week when we met and the Big Blue Button wasn't working. So then I went and bought a Zoom Pro account so that we could now do this screen share every week, so that it made it easier. So, Okay, Courtney, well, I think I'm going to stop the recording right now and keep the meeting open for us to chat. Let me stop the recording.